All right, what's going on, everyone, and welcome to the Xbox Roundtable Podcast. This is episode number 150. I'm your host, Invader, and hey, you know what? We've got a lot to talk about tonight as we finally got the official unveiling of the Xbox Series S, as well as many other details that have been shared around. We'll definitely dive into all of that and more. However, before we get into things, and as people start filing into the chat, let's get to the panel intros. And for tonight, we've got a jam-packed all-star panel with us and three amazing members of the community from the Gamers United Guild. Let me introduce our guests first, starting off with, from Four Guys with Quarters, Italian Clowns. Carlo, welcome to the show, my friend. How's it going?
Hey, what's up, man? Thanks for having me. I love being here with you guys. I've always loved TXR. And you know, Tim Dog and I go way back to my early podcasting days. He's one of the guys that really got me out there, and I appreciate being on this panel with him and all of you guys.
Glad to have you.
Thanks, man.
We love you.
Thank you. Love you too, Tim. Love you forever, brother.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, we got like a really great panel with us. Moving down the list, Jay, the Graphic God, next up from the Retro Renegades. How's it going, Jay?
Things are going great. You know, unfortunately, it's Sunday night. It means I got to work in the morning, but great way to end a weekend, you know, hanging out with buds and talking games.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Love that background.
Yeah, I'm admiring it. Damn, Jay, that's some awesome work there you got in the background. Did that take long to set up?
You mean to make all the money to buy all those arcade machines?
Of course, and that expensive chair.
Mm-hmm.
I know he was been rolling a Bentley on his days off.
That's right. Yeah, that's me pimping. Yeah, no, you know, that's my thing. You know, Retro Renegades is, we play a lot of old games, and I was just getting some stuff ready for the show on Tuesday night, and I thought, hey, instead of just, you know, having this exclusive to the Retro Renegades, let's pop it into a camera action and use it for tonight's TXR.
Looking good, man. Looking good.
Oh, man, that is fire. And last but not least, joining us from the wonderful NLG podcast, we got the Stinger, Mike Mullis. How you doing, Mike?
What's going on? Another great night with the premier Xbox show on the internet. What's up, guys?
What's up?
Finally, after years, I show up and Tim Dog is here. Usually I'm filling in, so I'm happy, happy to actually get on the air with you, brother.
Same, long time. Well, we've been knowing each other. Everyone known each other for a long time, and finally here. It's cool. Definitely cool.
Yeah, definitely. Now we'll go on to the TXR panel crew, and you know what, Tim, I'll go with you. It's always great to hear from you, man. You ready to dive into these Xbox bombs tonight?
Yeah, it's nice to have some news, and we're going to have a lot of opinions and stuff, and got some news coming up for PlayStation Wednesday. So, yeah, I'm really excited to have the show. Great panel. Thank you for all our guests coming, Mike, Gamer God, and my man, Clowns. Just going to be a really good show. It's nice to have a lot of information, too, to go over. You know, sometimes when we don't have anything, you know, it's a little bit tough, but we won't have that problem this week.
Yeah, man, definitely. And there's quite a few things to go over. Next up, Megatron. Hey, you looking forward to get into all the Xbox news, bud?
Oh, man, with this panel, we got Clowns, Jay, Mike. Listen, I am excited, man. I'm happy to be here with these guys. A lot to talk about, new consoles and, you know, next generation. And let's go, man. We're going to end this weekend with a bang.
Oh, certainly. All right, now on to Eric Shockley. Buddy, how's things over at your end?
Pretty good, yeah. Excited to get into some of the topics, some of what went on this week. Looks like all the news broke right after our last show. So, but yeah, I've been having some trouble. I still can't purchase games on Xbox Live. It's so weird.
Oh yeah,
I can purchase games on the 360 marketplace like in the web store, but I can't purchase like when I add shit to my cart in my Xbox. Still gives me that same error. I have no idea.
Yeah, I saw that because you were trying to get Ninja Gaiden and a few other games, right?
Yeah, it's funny. I bought Ninja Gaiden Black right through the store, and then when I went to go buy Ninja Gaiden 2, it started giving me this error, and since then, can't buy anything.
Has that started with the new update? Are you alpha?
Yeah, I'm in the alpha skip ahead, so I don't know if it's that, but no, it doesn't even let me do it if I use any Windows-based, so if I use a Windows-based store, like if you just go to Xbox.com, it has like the Windows-based store to buy Ninja Gaiden 2. Doesn't allow me. But when I bought Guardian Heroes, which is also using the window-based store when you go to Xbox.com, it let me buy it yesterday. I don't know. But I can't buy Ninja Gaiden. I can't buy Panzer Dragoon Orta.
So you're having issues with the Xbox store on Xbox?
Yeah, it just gives me an error, and there's no error code. It just says, try again later.
I've noticed something weird, too. My wife went to go buy a DLC for a game, and they won't sell. Right now, it's not listed on the store as a standalone DLC. You have to rebuy the game to get the DLC.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, you know what's weird? Actually, not to interrupt, but I notice, like, I like to buy from the app, and like let's say a game comes out, and I notice too, like when I try to buy the game, it says I own it, and I don't own it. It's like play it on Xbox. I'm like, no, I don't.
Yeah,
so
with that app, it gives you kind of that issue, but this I can't buy it anyway. Computer, whatever. Like, there's no way for me to buy it. So it's weird.
Strange.
But I got so many games I can't remember what I own, to be honest.
Yeah.
I have a weird problem that I go into my game library and I see games and I was like, did I buy that? I don't even know where that came from.
Probably free game with gold or something.
Well, did
subscriptions?
Was Watch Dogs 2? Was Watch Dogs 2 ever free? Because that's in my library and I never bought it.
The first one
I
is.
think Watch Dogs, the first one.
Maybe with EA. No. Sometimes you can have stuff with EA Now Play. And
if you have a subscription, it makes it look like you.
Yeah.
It doesn't say own, but it says like install or like I don't know.
And that happened to me with Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Like all of one day, it just showed up, and I knew I didn't buy it. I'm afraid to play it. Like Microsoft will ban my console after I open it.
When you take drinks out of the mini fridge at the hotel.
Right. Revoke your gamer license. Yeah.
Well, this sounds like a good problem to have.
Yeah. Games just randomly.
Yeah, until they block your console.
Yeah.
Well, that's
until they
true.
think you're stealing, right?
Right. You would have to prove like malicious intent. Honestly, how would be? Yeah, that's right. I hacked into Xbox systems and added a few games in my library. You know, I'm just that good.
Definitely. Now, Centurion.
The problem is. Go ahead. No, just the problem is like if you get into those trouble, that authority team or whatever the investigation team or the team that bans you, they're the worst. They do not budge.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely.
Yeah.
Now,
that's what I heard.
Centurion, buddy, I'll hit you up last. Rounding out all these intros. You ready to jump into tonight's topics?
Oh yeah. Why have I given the impression that I'm not?
No.
I mean, it's Sunday night. It's time to talk about Xbox and games. I mean, Xbox has released a lot of information, lost a lot of information. Oh, my God. They are hemorrhaging information right now. The next few days are going to be interesting, especially this Wednesday. I'm looking forward to what the days to come are going to give us.
Oh, you got that right, my friend. All right. So we got a lot to cover tonight and jam-packed panel, of course. So I will dive right into this first topic of the evening. And what is the biggest piece of news from the past week? And Xbox has officially announced the Xbox Series S over their Twitter. It launches November 10th and will cost $299 US. Also, the Xbox Series X price was also announced at $499 US. So guys, we finally got the Series S unveiled with the pricing. Pretty exciting stuff, a relief to gamers everywhere. But I really want to get into everyone's thoughts on the Series S and the pricing. You know what, I'll start with one of our guests first. Clowns Buddy, what do you think of the console prices?
I gotta say this. I think that Xbox did something amazing for gamers in general. I think that right now in the economy that we're in, people losing jobs, people on unemployment, people not able to go to work right now. I think coming in at $299 for next generation is a beast, and that says from Xbox to all their fans, hey, we see you, we want you in next gen, and we're gonna get you in next gen. I think it's very affordable at the entry point that it is, and it's fantastic because it's going to bring in so many casuals. And I honestly think Sony's not going to be able to beat that price no matter what at the $299. And for the hardcore, we got the Xbox Series X at $499. Fantastic. But you know what's even better than that, Invader? It's the Xbox All Access. I mean, they even went above and beyond to get people into this upcoming generation. It's just a fantastic program. And so I honestly will say this. I know consumer friendly has been overused so much, but I really do think that Xbox is coming from that perspective of trying to be as friendly as possible to their fans and getting them in this type of economy.
Can I add on real quick?
Go for it, man.
Yeah, sure.
I'm actually glad he brought up the whole situation with people not having jobs and stuff. This whole pandemic has created a situation where a lot of people had to stay at home. And because of this situation, gaming has actually seen a large amount of growth. New consumers to gaming have been brought into the fold because of this pandemic. And at this point, I see Microsoft really wanting to cater to those who have not drawn the line in the sand, saying, this is the console I want to game on. They are looking towards people who are new to gaming as a result of this whole situation that have yet to basically pick a home for their digital libraries.
Absolutely. Jay, I know that you're unique and you really like your digital collection. I know you like buying a lot of games digital to save on that space. Which console are you looking at getting? Are you interested in these consoles?
I am, and you're right. I do like the digital because I play a lot of old games. But that's another reason why I'm probably going to get the Series X because of the fact that I can put my old discs in there. I have a lot of old discs, a lot of old games from the 360 era and the OG Xbox that I know will be backwards compatible going forward. And that's the main reason why I even have any systems with discs, is because I like to play the old stuff. And, having that little extra 4K Blu-ray, kind of an added bonus, you have to admit.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Mike, I would love to get your take on the announcement and the pricing, because this just kind of came out of nowhere, right? Nobody was expecting them. We were expecting this more to be like an event, but then, I don't know, it almost looked like some stuff leaked online, and then a day before Xbox just said screw it and announced everything. So what's your take?
Well, so I mea culpa'd as well because I was one of the few. There weren't many of us, in the little group that I was one of the guys that said, the Lockhart either didn't exist or they were just going to make the Xbox One X the cheap version and make the Series X the high end. So obviously I'm wrong, and here it is. I have a slightly different. It's kind of weird. I get the reason for it, and I think that there's an audience for it. I'm not sure, other than the Fortnite and Madden players, what that audience is yet. For me, when I am ready to get one, it has to be the full Series X, because I have a pretty large back compat library, and the S, they literally outright said you're going to have to rebuy your games if you want to play them. So that puts the S out for me immediately.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not going to rebuy my backward compatible games. So it's just the way it is. That said, I'm going to throw out a something that I said on Thursday night that is I guess a little off the beaten trail, and obviously something that's not going to happen because we've already seen the announcements now. But I would rather have seen Microsoft really take the gloves off and decide that the generation they wanted this generation bad, and just have one SKU, the Xbox Series X, price it at $399, and just take the winnings. And I the fact that they are investing all this money in EA Play and stuff going into Game Pass, they know that they've got subscriptions coming in, and at some point the dollar subscriptions are going to end, and people are going to start paying real money for Game Pass. And when that happens, that's where they make their money, and that's where they're going to that's where they would bring that revenue back. So, I'm sure there's an audience for the S. But I would have rather have seen them make the X the affordable, high-end affordable thing, and so that there was no ambiguity as to who was going to buy that thing.
At $400 price point, though, like, how do you compete with something you don't even know what the other competitor is doing yet? It's like they wanted the power narrative, and at the same time they want, a console is affordable to everyone. I'm thinking about what you're saying. How would they do that? Like,
I think the price you were thinking, Mike, is just too low for the X.
Well,
but the only reason I say that is because I've seen someone. There was a video that I watched where somebody built a comparable PC, and it was $1,300.
Sure, absolutely. But this is a console; it's a set-top box.
I get it,
and it's something that, again, most PC manufacturers don't have subscription-based stuff to go to offset. Right. To answer your question, I don't think there's a chance in the world that Sony would have been able to match suit. In fact, I think when they do announce the price, the digital version is what's going to be $399 for them, and I don't think that's a big secret. So if you think about what happened in 2013. Microsoft and Sony came out. Sony had the more powerful console at a less price, at a cheaper price. So think about this: at $399, with the Xbox Series X having a disc drive in it, and the comparable console price wise is the digital PS5. And Microsoft could go, well, that's fine. For the same price, you can have something that also, by the way, plays your Blu-ray movies, plays your backward compatible stuff, and all of a sudden there's your equalizer. Right. Instead of having two SKUs, and that's what I mean. I'm talking about not having two SKUs. I'm talking about having one SKU, and it's the SKU that is the same price as the digital PS5. I think that's where that's where they gain their market share. And I could be wrong. I was wrong about the Lockhart being in existence. So I could be totally wrong, and this thing could take off like wildfire. So I'm interested in everybody else's opinion as to what the audience is for the S.
I think $299 though is a impulse buy. I think that's where they're trying to get people locked into Game Pass by like, oh, this is that $299 and not $300. It tricks the buyer, the consumer. And so at $299, it's that's something you could walk out the store like, oh, that's how much it is.
And it's not just $299 for a box out the store. It's $299 and 2 years of entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you probably get at least a month probably of Game Pass Ultimate, I would imagine, which comes with a lot of Medium, Scorn, probably Destiny, the whole expansion.
Yeah.
It's going to have a lot of value. So.
And all the Microsoft first party.
Mm-hmm. No.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. And
Well, it's funny what Mike says because I actually heard that was actually a consideration, $399 Xbox, and that was actually it was one. It was actually an idea, but they had elected to go with the two. But Mike's thinking is I understand where he's coming from 100% because that was, like I said, I actually heard that was in consideration. But one of the things I heard about that was for them to get to that price point, they would have went with a mechanical hard drive. Now, I don't know how well that would have been. I think that might have pissed people off. But obviously, we don't know if this is what I've heard, and I don't know if it's 100% true. But I definitely heard it from some good people that the $399 was actually considered, but they eventually went with the SKU, as they call it, the bookend, because they knew that Xbox fans wanted that power crown and they wanted it at all costs, and they figured to themselves, well, the only way we can do that is if we have these two bookends, one really cheap one, and then we go all out. Now, I think it just remains to be seen. Like, if Sony comes in at $399, we always say competition is great, and the fanboy stuff and all the wars that go on. It's kind of funny because if you only had one console, we'd probably be paying $600, and now we're in a position where you might be paying $399 for a premium PS5 without a disc, which obviously is not going to be great for some. But you have that option, and also a $299 Xbox SKU, and then a crazy Xbox Series X at $499. So I just think for overall for the consumer, this has been a great thing, and this has been a generation that the upcoming that's definitely going to benefit us. And I think it's very interesting that what Mike says. It only remains to be seen. I know that they're taking a loss on Series X, so it's just, I guess it comes to the point where how much of a loss can you take? And I think that's where it comes this Wednesday with Sony. Sony's definitely going to take a loss, but it's how much. If they hit that $399 though, that's going to be really great for gamers. And that's pretty crazy that you can have a PS5 for $399. But we'll see, I guess, Wednesday what they end up pricing. But in the end, I think.
Did you notice that tweet though they sent out with the price? It said they made sure to say it's estimated retail price. I've never really seen anybody announce a product and
with
put
Xbox.
that next to it. Yeah.
Official.
Yeah, excellent.
yeah, it's true.
I noticed that too.
So it's like, oh yeah, make sure to know this isn't official. Like,
So what are the chances that Sony comes out with a really competitive price? What are the chances that Xbox might say, okay, let's drop another $50? What do you guys think?
if it's within $50, I could definitely see that. But like if it's $449 and $399 for the digital, I could see them dropping at $50 to match the disc drive version. So,
but is Microsoft the type of company that will do that? Do they even care?
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could say,
Well,
does Sony even care because they're so dominant?
Yeah. See, Sony spent the last Sony spent the last 7 years convincing everyone that Xbox didn't exist. So, they don't really have I'm of the mind that Sony probably doesn't really care about the price right now.
I don't think they really should. To be honest, they're in a position where it's two ways. If they go, even if they said $549, $499, which I think would get a lot of people going, and stoke a lot of fires. But I think in the end, even so, they still would freaking sell out and do great. So they know they're going to sell out. The thing is that like if you're putting a $399 SKU out there though, that's that good. You're dealing with crazy amount of demand. I would think you're definitely going to deal with shortages and stuff like that. But in the end, they really could do what they want because they definitely, whether we like it or not, they have the mind share, they have the popularity, and Xbox has done great things, but they're just not the popular console. And so it comes to like, I'm sure there's executives at Sony being like, well, we could do what we want. Why do we have to do that? So it's going to be very interesting Wednesday where they come in. But as far as Xbox adjusting, I do think that I know for a fact they both were waiting each other out. It's just that Xbox, I just think, said that we had to go, and they also put this whole thing that got hacked, they put it on a front-facing site or whatever. So a lot of people said it was their fault, which it is, because let's be honest, how many times does this happen to Xbox?
It happens every year.
It happens every year. So, I mean, I know Cindy was very upset and saying it was theft and all, but how many times are you going to have it happen to yourself and not consider that it's your issue? So, I mean, I don't know. I just think it's going to be very interesting. But I think Xbox could adjust somehow with Game Pass, maybe giving people free Game Pass for the first 3 months or something of that nature. I think, to be honest, they should do something like that because, as Mike said, there's going to be a day where we're all playing real money like Netflix for $14.99 a month or $10 or whatever, $9.99, and that's going to be a reoccurring charge that.
Can I tell you something, Tim?
You're paying.
I'm paying $14.99.
That's for what Netflix?
So you're stuck, right?
I'm not. So my dollar deal ran out. Like, see that so I was not in a position to re-up at the time when I flipped for the dollar deal. So I'm actually paying $15 a month. Now I'm obviously getting points and stuff through my Microsoft rewards to actually kind of supplement that. I actually have enough points saved up right now for 2 months Game Pass free or Game Pass Ultimate. But I am one of those people that are paying $14.99. That's why when everybody tries to throw the dollar deal in my face, it's like I'm paying $14.99.
I can't think that they're not going to consider what's going on in the world economically. I don't think they can just, I mean, yeah, they have the mind share, but I don't think they can just put out a price and people just say, I'm going to buy it just because it's Sony. They had that mentality, I guess, with the PlayStation 3, was it, when it was $600? And it didn't work. And I just don't know, man. And I'm not too much of a tech guy. I'm not going to, but you hear about how expensive these new tech SSDs are, and Sony's is even faster, and they're using liquid metal cooling. I don't know, man. I think they're going to, my guess, $550, $500. That's just because of how expensive I see these things are just sitting on the store shelves. And, whatever I see listed here, parts wise for these this new tech stuff. The Samsung's got something that's really expensive, and you saw that leaked hard card, that little external hard drive thing you plug in the back of the Xbox. All this stuff just seems really, really, really pricey. And if I'm a consumer and I'm trying to buy something for my kid, and I don't have that much, I'm going to go with the cheaper version, unfortunately. And I think it's just going to be a hit, and Sony's got to have to be competitive with that price. So I really can't see it any other way. Not in this day and age right now in 2020. You got, the West Coast is on fire. We got viruses everywhere. You still can't leave the house. My kids are still in school. It's just mayhem, it seems like, this year. I just think
it would actually surprise me if Sony had the hubris to do $549. That's a ballsy move.
Yeah.
That does say we don't care what the Xbox has under the hood. We're the better company.
Well, Xbox really caught them because you got a console on one hand for $300, $299, and then you got another one for a very, very competitive $499 that is definitely the most powerful console. Like, Microsoft can market the crap out of the Series X, so it really, really catches Sony in a position where, well, where the hell are we gonna price this thing? So they can't price it too high, they can't price it too low. You know, it's because I know that they were having, even when they were making the console, like there was reports months and months ago about them having ventilation issues, some fan issues with cooling, and I think they put a lot of money invested into that. And I'll be very curious to see, guys, what they price out. And it's interesting too, because you look at the Series S and the Series X, they're drastically different consoles from the looks of it. And then you got the PS5, the regular one, and then the all digital edition. The only difference is like they look identical except for the disc drive. So
yeah,
I feel
one looks pregnant.
I feel
think it's a lot to be happy about this S. I mean, you know, like we said before, you know, I didn't know about the backwards compatibility issue. I'm still learning, obviously. But, you know, 120 frames per second. You got faster loading times, you know, the new Dolby Vision. I mean, it's a lot to be, you know, proud of. This little this mighty little box at Microsoft. I didn't like the look when I first saw it, but it quickly grew on me, you know, and I wish I would have did it a little bit differently. But even still, I think it's no slouch, and I think if you do purchase it, you know, people are going to be happy. You know, just
isn't that funny that people think the father's going to get the wrong console? They don't think that's going to happen with Sony. Oh, he buys the one without the disc drive, and he comes home with this. Like, oh, here's your game. Oh, it's Christmas Day. You can't go out and buy shit. Everything's closed.
Yeah.
And you
At
can't
least
play anything.
Xboxes look very different. You can tell the difference just by the way they look.
Yeah.
But speaking on something though, I want to go on this is that, you know, my daughter, she's 18. And her generation, like all her friends, everybody that graduated with her, everybody started college, they all like digital only. Like every time she gets a game, it has to be digital. She does not want physical whatsoever. And I asked her, I was like, why don't you want physical? She's like, Dad, who gets up and puts a disc in the console? That's so like 1990. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, all my music is like on my iTunes or it's on Spotify or Pandora. Everything is digital, Dad. I don't like CDs. I don't like discs. I don't even like movie discs. I just stream everything on Netflix. I mean, her generation going forward is the streaming generation. And at $299, a lot of these kids can afford that. It's even going into college, you know, they can afford that $299. I think Xbox hit it right on the head with this $299. It's going to get all the people that they want in next generation, and they know the hardcore is still going to go for the $499. And Phil's a gamer, right? I mean, down at his heart, he's a gamer, and he knows there's hardcore, and that's why we have the Xbox Series X as well for guys like us.
That all access is such a sweet deal. If you don't, I mean, everyone's got different, you know, spending ways. If you don't have it, you don't have. You got a way to put something underneath someone's tree and make your kids happy, or you send your kid off to college if the colleges are open. To me, it's just a no-brainer. I mean, play 6 of those games, you know, first party studios. You know, what are you paying per game? $60 a pop. You're talking about AAA games. You could look at it where you pay 5 or 6. It pays for itself. Just playing a couple games. I think it's a great value. And I don't know, man. To me, it's a no-brainer. Go out and get it.
Also,
go ahead, Clarence.
I was gonna say with EA Play going into it as well. I mean, that's some third party.
Bingo.
That's going in there, right? I mean, that's big if you want to play cross-play with other people on these third-party titles. I mean, not everybody's going to like EA games, and that's fine. But for the people that do, this is fantastic. I mean, it's a win-win for everyone in general. Even if you don't play EA Play, it's just a win. It's there.
You know what? A lot of people don't take this into consideration but as a Canadian, having NHL in EA Play is worth the price of admission right there. Because I'm spending less per year on playing NHL than I would have to buy a physical game or have to buy the game outright.
Isn't this coming with... I'm sorry, Jay. Go ahead.
No, just saying, like, that game alone is the reason why I got EA Play. And on top of that, I got Titanfall. On top of that, I got Madden. On top of that, I got so much
all
more.
those backwards compatible EA games,
Exactly.
Dead Space.
Yeah,
They get HDR too.
Yeah, let's
So
get
that's
further into this, fellas. Before I just got to say a shout out to the guys that dropped super chats. Midway Monster, thank you very much for the very generous $5 super chat, as well as our brother from Gamers United Guild, Fastback. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat, guys. It is always appreciated. Yeah, guys, this whole EA Play thing, I mean, it kind of came out of nowhere. We had heard rumbles that, EA was going to change up their service, which it went from EA Access to EA Play. And yeah, again, to add to this, just the big news that was dropped about Xbox, that EA Play will be included in Xbox Game Pass Ultimate at no additional cost. We don't have it this year. Not right now, but we'll have it later on this year. And in my opinion, guys, that's a pretty significant service to have, added in there. I mean, Jay goes on about NHL. It's a no-brainer for me. I gotta say, Mike, what do you think of this? Because having a big publisher like EA in there, while, I'll admit some of their games don't hold up quality to quality right now. A lot of people are making fun of some of their sports games at the moment and a few others, but they have an awesome back catalog, don't they?
Hey, and if you want to play Anthem, there you go. No, I mean
that includes EA or Star Wars games, right?
Well, yeah, and we're just waiting on. Well, we're waiting on Jedi Fallen Order to get into the vault.
Imagine if that's day one, that'd be nice.
If you think about the fact that Microsoft and EA have always had this special relationship, and even after what I found most not ironic, but most telling about something like this is this came shortly after they opened up EA Play to Sony. So you can get EA Play on the PlayStation, you can get EA Play now on there, and then after that they go back to Microsoft and work out what is arguably a blockbuster deal to add. And I don't know what EA gets out of this other than maybe some sales, because you can get stuff on sale and DLC stuff. But what does EA get out of this? Microsoft really reaps all the benefits of this, in my view. So for EA to do this shows the strength of their relationship with Microsoft. And if you guys, you could say EA is, isn't the publisher it used to be, but they're not. They're still the number one third-party publisher on the planet, who still has the major sports licenses, who still has the Star Wars license, who still has all of these games that people complain about, and then they go and play. So this is, and I've been you could call me an evangelist for Game Pass since day one. Nobody values Game Pass as much as I do, and goes and speaks its praise about Game Pass. I do it religiously. This makes Game Pass a no-brainer. I'm almost and I didn't mean, I wasn't trying earlier. Was it you, Centurion, that said that you're paying for it full price now? Is that you? Or was it Megatron?
It was Centurion.
Okay. So I wasn't trying to disparage that. I was, I have it stacked until April 2021 because of the conversion that I had when they converted Game Pass to Ultimate.
Don't think I was disparaging on that at all. No, at the time my wife wasn't working. I didn't have the money to flip for that many years of gold right off the get-go without warning. Yeah. So for me, I was actually grateful for it because it extended my Game Pass and my Xbox Live like 9-10 months. So actually I was grateful for only paying $1 for 10 months worth of service.
Yeah. I mean, I'm literally, I am feeling guilty about the fact that I don't have to pay for this until until April, and they're going to stack. I think Major Nelson said they're going to give you a 3-to-1 conversion. For EA Access, which means I might not pay for Game Pass till 2022. I mean, that in and of itself is almost, I feel like I'm stealing, because the amount of value that, if you think about it, if you are paying $180, I think that's what it comes out to, $180 a year, and you play 3 games, you've paid for Game Pass. Everything else you pay beyond that is complete and utter gravy, and they know that, and yet it the smaller developers continue to like to like being in there and the exposure and everything. That is the one thing that drives Microsoft right now, and for good measure and for good reason.
Yeah, I mean, Jeffrey Grubb has also said that there's another deal that they put a lot of money in it's not an acquisition. I believe they must have given EA, because it does look one-sided. They must have given EA some monetary, they must have given them money up front. And also the benefits of them, possibly, getting more people buying their games. But they had to have given them a nice deal to get this, because this, like you said, is it's pretty crazy, and the conversion rate, the way it works, is very nice. If you have it, people that do have EA Access, don't worry, it'll be done automatically. It's not going to be recurring charges. I heard people canceling their service. You don't have to worry about any of that. It's just going to happen. But in the end, the ultimate idea is to get everyone to be paying $15 a month, and people who have it stacked, like myself and Mike, at the end of the day, when it all runs out, which would probably, let's say 2021, 2022, Xbox really at that point should be really pushing a lot of games out. And that's why they talked about the 4 games, whether it be AA or AAA every quarter, is because they want the ability to say, hey, you're going to pay $15 a month, sure, but you're getting a game every 3 months. So in that case, that's $45 and you're getting it for free, as well as other, benefits of everything that's going on. So I think Xbox has been playing this smart, and, a lot of people say, well, it's all about Game Pass, and you know what? It kind of is in the aspect, but that does also include people playing on their consoles and people, spending money in the ecosystem. So yeah, I see EA Access deal. That was a lot of money, and I guess we could. I don't know if it's it's a subject ahead, but they might have another deal, whether it be Valhalla open day one or something else is coming. That's going to be like where we just say this Game Pass is robbery, and feel like Mike is like we're getting away with something, because it's just crazy. And Game Pass is a great thing for gamers, and realize that there is an end. There is an end result that we're all going to probably be the Netflix guys, paying $15 a month, but. At that point, their games are going to be coming fast and furious. So I think everyone's going to be happy.
Now, just to add on to that, sorry, I'll just finish up in a sec, clowns. What other publishers do you guys see them getting comfortable with to possibly add in? Like, obviously, Tim alludes to Valhalla, so maybe Ubisoft would be, they might be a good fit for them. Obviously, or maybe even a publisher that's really involved in both PC and console gaming as well, right? Just to diversify.
CD Projekt Red. Sorry.
Nice, right?
Honestly, I mean, I think we're all thinking and hoping and praying that Cyberpunk goes into Game Pass. I think we all are kind of have that in the back of our heads, even though we think it's an impossible solution or an impossible thing to ever happen. I'm of the mind that maybe it might.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's
well, you look and you see Halo, and it's definitely it's huge that they lost that. I mean, listen, I've always said it's huge. Their whole plan was around Halo, and if we got Cyberpunk, I think that everyone here would be like, okay, that made up for that. So, and that would give a lot of people to play launch a game. But yeah, I think that may be it's definitely a possibility. They're definitely spending more money, and they know that the Halo was a huge hit too. It was a very big disappointment to them because that was the whole plan.
Yeah, and the press just ran with that, talking about how bad it looked, and then it's just terrible when Microsoft shoots themselves in the foot every time they're doing good, and I felt like they did it with that situation. But I wanted to bring something up that Tim Dog posted on Twitter actually recently with Game Pass is the fact that, with Game Pass, not only is it beneficial, like Mike said, you get all these games, and most of us might have it till like 2021, 2022, which I do 2022, August. But also the Game Pass quests. I mean, like there's games in Game Pass that you could download and play right now. And you do these quests and it's like free money.
Yeah.
So you get that free money plus your Microsoft, rewards free money. It's just like money back from Microsoft no matter what they do with their console. It's just great. I mean, there's no better deal out there. If you ever do PlayStation rewards, it's not near any as good as the Microsoft rewards. I mean, you have to spend money on their credit card or you have to buy games at like 1 times the points. Microsoft is so much better and generous with the rewards that they do for Xbox and so many other deals as well. I mean, you can't go wrong with Xbox. You really can't.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. Actually, that's a good point, too, because I've become really, really into doing the quests. Like, again, you don't even notice that you're doing them, to be honest, because all you do is you download a game, you play it for a bit, you earn an achievement, and you've already earned, 3 or 4 quests just by doing that. And then if you go into the Microsoft rewards, there's you click this if you earn an achievement, and you got something. There's
all you need to do is search on Bing, and you're getting points.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, if you use Bing as your search engine, you definitely do. It's pretty crazy if you really want to go crazy with the rewards.
Mm-hmm.
I have 20,000 saved right now.
It takes 5 minutes every day. I think Colt Eastwood did a video on this. You could in Bing, you could type Marvel movies or DC movies, and it just aligns at the top most of the time, and you just click each one, and it doesn't even take you to a different page. It still loads in the window below. And you're just earning your points left and right. In 2 months, I earned something like 36,000 points doing that combined with some Game Pass quests. And I was able to upgrade my PC. I got a new fan for my PC. So, I mean, it's just fantastic, the stuff that they do.
Yeah. I bought Tony Hawk with my points.
Nice.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice, Jay.
I'm saving up for the X.
And like Invader said, people don't know. But I know the quest, but when I put my tweet up, it was because when I was looking at my rewards and it said turn in your requests, I went to the Xbox app. So if you go to your Xbox app and you see that portion, you might not know it, but especially if you're a gamer like Rand or those people that play constant games, and rack up gamer score, Clown's is a big gamer too. You can be, it's crazy. You can make a lot of money, but yeah, check that out in your Xbox app. You might have some money there, or something there. Even if it's $5, it's still to pay for taxes on a game or something. It always helps.
They need to promote that by showing somebody like Rand that used those points to buy the Xbox Series X.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that would be great. Also, what most people don't realize is you use those points like Jay did to get the Tony Hawk game, and he's going to get more rewards points back just for buying a game. Yeah. And, I talked to somebody on Twitter. He's been buying games for 2 years, never knew about Microsoft rewards. He checked his account. He has enough to get the Xbox Series S already.
Wow.
Yeah, that happened. I remember Nintendo guy. This is a story. He had $400, and this is a story. That's pretty cool. He had like $400 in his rewards. The reason why he had so much money is because he kept earning it, and they would never let him return his. They never let him return for whatever reason. There was a glitch in the system. So he brought it to my attention. I brought it to Aaron Greenberg's attention, and we all know Greeny. He always works with the fans, and they ended up giving him the credit, and he still had his points because they couldn't figure out what the problem was or whatever. So he got like $300 just because they had a glitch in their system, and they couldn't figure it out. But like if you don't know, like some people don't even know. Just it's crazy that the reward system. And I think that like Xbox should go a step further. I think they should have like a leaderboard, like anybody who the league leader gets an additional 10,000 or 20,000 reward points. Because even then, when people stop, it becomes a numbers thing. People get into it. The object is to get people playing games, and I think that it's a great thing and stuff like that. They definitely need to promote better because it's definitely very cool, but a lot of times we don't even know about it other than people like us.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right, fellas, I'm going to move on to, something that was brought up by, I think it was Megatron earlier. And there was an interesting possible leak that popped up a few days ago, right after all the different console announcements. Allegedly, someone over at GameStop spotted the price for the 1 terabyte proprietary expansion card for the Xbox Series X and S. And the cost is reported at about $220. Wow, right? And then if that's true, that's some premium pricey going on for next-gen storage. Now, Centurion, I'll get you to start us off on this one. What do you think of the validity of this leak? Could we see, like, these console expansions at that price?
I hope not. I mean, I've seen it rumored on a couple places, and I mean, wow, that would definitely be a shocker for me. That would be the most expensive hard drive I would ever buy, considering I have a 12 terabyte hard drive hooked up to my Xbox One X right now. It just completely blows my mind thinking about it. I really hope not. That's all I can say. Microsoft has been having a lot of leaks lately, and that's been very apparent, and I really hope this isn't another one. Now, luckily, it is coming off of like Reddit, out of GameStop. It is just rumor, and I just really hope it stays a rumor and it doesn't become fact.
Me too, man.
Well, it's
I don't see it being almost the price of almost like 3/4 the price of a Series S. There's no way.
No.
no, yeah.
You know what?
That's a weird price point, $220.
Yeah.
Now that's where I'm wondering, did they see the price of a PC component versus like, were we gonna have like an official like Xbox branded one that we use specifically with the consoles? Like, was that just some standalone thing? Like, for me, it's more like I want it put more in context than just some SKU number, because in my line of work, I deal with SKU numbers, I deal with parts, and I see literally some parts that fly under different SKU numbers. I mean, it gets very confusing. For me, I just want to have it put more in context.
I hope that's not the price, man, because I originally said when we finally got the leaked announcement of the prices of the console, I was going to get an Xbox Series X and I was going to get an Xbox Series S. But if I got to expand the storage anyway, I might as well just get two Xbox Series X's, because I'm spending the money anyway. If that price is true, I mean, it would make sense at that point. I'd just go ahead and just upgrade to the two most powerful consoles. But I hope not. I really hope not. But we gotta take the good with the bad. I guess it's one of those things where this is what you got to pay for the new tech till the price comes down.
For me, the article got a little confusing because it said that all games have to be on this hard drive. I thought for any game to take advantage of the Velocity architecture, it had to be on this drive. But if the game wasn't built with Velocity architecture, it would actually work off any drive at that point.
Okay.
Yeah,
no, that's why I'm confused. This article at the end flat. No, if you read the article that was sourced, It actually says at the end that to play any, it made it feel like to play any games at all, they would have to be on this drive. And that's where I'm like, no, the only games that would actually have to be on that drive for you to take full advantage of them would be any game under the Velocity architecture. At least that's what I thought.
Yeah, it would have to be. So if it's Xbox One game or older, then those you could put on the hard drive. But if you do put it on the hard drive, it's not going to see the benefits that you'll see if you put it on the SSD, like the loading times.
So you're not taking advantage of the faster loading times.
Which is why I've been upgrading all my 360 and original Xbox games, selling them, and then just buying the digital ones when they go on sale. Because I want that instant, 6 games to spend feature. That's going to be sick.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's correct.
Oh, you just made a good point.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Screw this. I sold Orta. I'm about to sell Orta for like $30-something. You can buy it right now on sale for $7.99.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. Like, again, I look at that price and I'm like, there's no way like anybody in their right mind, like Seagate, Microsoft, that they could price it like that. You know, it's way too much. And then, okay, it's $220 for you guys. For me and Jay, it's gonna be an extra $100 on top of that. Like, it's not gonna work.
Exactly. Yeah, but you know, every company that does this always has some high inflated priced accessory, and whether or not Seagate setting the if this is the Seagate drive, Seagate's setting the price. Microsoft's not telling them what to charge for it, but they're probably taking into account that Microsoft has also given them some licensing. You have the IP that you have to pay for, and so that goes into the price of it too, rather than just being a Seagate drive. If this is an official Microsoft licensed drive, they have to cover that. So it doesn't surprise me. What would surprise me is if there's no one else that makes a third-party device that's not officially licensed but still usable, that will be cheaper.
What's everybody's cutoff point on what they think this may cost? Me, it would be $150. That's just anything above that is way too high.
I mean, go to Amazon and look up NVMe SSD drives. I mean, don't forget too, the SSD is not brand new, but NVMe is not. It's not 10-year-old technology here. There is still a premium for that type of drive.
Mm-hmm. Plus, it's proprietary.
And this one's really small compared to the ones I see online for a PC. It's like the size of I don't know. I'm just trying to think, because it looks like when you look at that slot on the back, it's like, oh, that's really small. Like you compare it to the other slots.
It looks like a GameCube memory card.
Yeah, maybe a little bit wider, possibly. Yeah.
One thing I heard that's very cool is that it's hot swappable, so you can actually pull it out and put it in while it's on.
Do not do it while it's saving.
Yeah, to Mike's point, though, it's going to be very expensive, I think. But the end of the world, I don't think it's the end of the world because it will come down in price. And the fact is that a lot of us, including myself, are going to have a lot of games loaded in on our externals that we can put in, and what we can probably do, and it probably, depending on because the system's going to be overall much faster, you're going to be able to say put 4 games or 5 games or 6 games, AAA games that you like the most, and when you're done with them, put in a new one and just kind of make a list. To do that, because I mean, if let's just say the price is prohibitive, it's just ridiculous, like $220. There is still ways to kind of make it where you can get around it. Like I said, you can possibly have externals and then in and out move it. Like to move a game right now takes about 5 minutes, I think, or 10 minutes, depending on size. Could be a lot shorter with these new systems. So. That's what I'm planning. I'm going to have like my top 7 games on the Series X or top 9 or how many I can fit. And then I'm going to, move in and out. and I'll probably get the memory down the line. But it's going to be, listen, the bottom line is it's going to be expensive for both Sony and Xbox. And if there is a downside to this generation, it's probably going to be the price of that. That's going to be something where people say, and I've always said that it was going to be expensive. And I remember when I think I said 200, and everyone was like, "You're nuts, you're crazy." But I do think it's going to be around there. But I'm hoping for 150. If it's $100, I'd be jumping for joy. But I just think it's going to be one of those things we're going to have to wait it out.
Wouldn't surprise me if you start seeing some of these cars come preloaded with games already, because I don't know, it'd be a good idea. But you said it would take 10 minutes to transfer one game from one game to the other. I guess from external mechanical hard drive.
If you want to change a drive, I mean, I haven't really tested it, but let's just say you have it installed on drive and they're both, especially if it's a 3.1, I think that you would be able to do much faster. Mm-hmm. But we probably have USB 3.0s that we are using for externals. But what I'm thinking, and depending on how much time is like, let's just say I finish Jedi War or Jedi or whatever Star Wars game, and I'm done with it. Then I can move that game out and then put like a game that I like and move it over. If it takes me 5 minutes or 4 minutes, it's not that bad. But I should do a test to see how long, like a 40 gig game, you can move from one drive to the other or to your hard drive. Because I think, like I said, I think we're all going to have to kind of do that. Especially if, like I said, if the price is that prohibitive. I don't know anybody. I don't think I can justify myself paying $200 for that. But I probably, like an idiot, will. You know what I mean? It's just the way I am. But $200 is going to be definitely a price that people, are going to be like, "What's going on here?"
I've been championing the slogan "Buy drives, not shelves," because I'm a digital guy. But for, if these drives are going to be significantly more than $100, I'm probably going to be buying less drives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
It's a lot. You buy 2 or 3 of these bad boys, and you board yourself on the console, and you start to start calculating, storage space and everything else. It just doesn't seem like it's the best route to take. It'll be more of a delete and on to the next. But but what I like right now, my setup is having these games at my fingertips. I got an 8 terabyte, I got 12 terabyte, and it's close to 700 games. It's all there, and it's just the luxury to be able to jump in instantly into what my friends are playing. It's something I'm going to have to, I guess, readjust to if this is going to be the new thing. So we'll see.
We've all been spoiled, and I think we can all admit that there's probably games that we have installed that we haven't played in more than a year. So, maybe that's the philosophy behind all this, and what they're thinking is, people can just get rid of what they're not playing. Because I probably have a dozen games on my drive that I haven't played in a year.
I can't do it though. I don't know. I just love having it there, man.
Me too. Me too.
I can't see myself. I mean, I still have to say play Prey. That came out 2018. March, April. Yeah. The new Prey game, and never got around to it. But eventually, I will. I promise. But I love having it there to say, you know what, I'm in that mood, and just, I just jump in and it's right there for me to just kind of grab, man. I think of that scene in Matrix, when they're there and they're like guns. And there's all my and they just rolls of guns just flying. You see the wind, their clothes flapping from the wind, and it's just that's how I see it. That's how I see my games, and it's just like something I've always wanted as a kid because I didn't have much growing up, But now I'm able to afford the hobby that I love, and I like having access. Mm-hmm. So, but like you said, we can enjoy these games externally, with a mechanical hard drive. It still works, so that's definitely a plus. It's just certain things we may not be able to take advantage of, and depending on what console you have. But so hey, that's it. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Again, guys, who knows what we have in store for the prices for these things, but you're probably going to have to pay up, ante up just, a little bit more than what you want, unfortunately. But we'll see. Anyways, fellas, I'm going to move on to some other news. And recently, there was a pretty cool announcement from audio company Dolby. They announced that the upcoming Xbox Series X and S will offer both Dolby Vision and Dolby Atmos for gaming. The new consoles will have 3-dimensional Dolby Atmos for audio at launch, and they will support Dolby Vision gaming sometime in 2021. Now, Dolby Vision brings brightness, contrast, color, and depth that goes beyond traditional HDR in games, they say. And it offers 40 times brighter highlights, 10 times deeper black levels, and up to 12-bit color depth. Some pretty impressive numbers going on here from what they're saying. Guys, we've seen how HDR on consoles this gen really, they brings out the colors in a lot of games, really. Actually, it changed a lot of games for me, how they look. There's some really impressive stuff going on there. And just how, also with the audio, how audio is becoming ever more important in games, the sound and whatnot, just the little things that really add up. Now, Tim, I'll go to you on this one first. What do you think of this console-first Dolby Vision gaming coming to next-gen console Xboxes? Because it sounds pretty cool.
Very cool, very cool. Just want to wonder what it is. They say it can have 12-bit support. A lot of TVs right now, like my OLEDs, are 10 bits. The HDR, I think Mike Memorial was saying that he thought it was exclusive just to one. I think that they'll have support for HDR10 and this. This is just going to give you probably a different way to play, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be either or, in my opinion. So that's good. I think that they'll have support for the other HDRs. But yeah, this is really cool stuff, and I hope they get it for Halo. I don't know if you guys saw that video. Some YouTuber they did the Halo Infinite trailer, and they did it with like a different color scheme. And it actually made the game look a lot different. And I'm not saying that Dolby Vision will do that, but I think that it's definitely something that's very cool. You have to have a TV that supports Dolby Vision. I buy the LG TVs, so they support that. Samsung, I does not believe that they are supporting that. So that's one caveat if you're considering this. But yeah, I love the Dolby Atmos support. I love the idea of this, and I'm just hoping that they actually adopt it, and also I'm hoping that it's I haven't gotten an answer on that, but that it's universal. Meaning, let's say you have a Samsung, and the game is Dolby Vision certified. That doesn't mean that you're gonna not get HDR on your Samsung because you don't have Dolby Vision. You'll just get HDR10. So I'm assuming it works that way. I think it would be stupid if it's exclusive to the game and then you have TVs that are not exclusive. That wouldn't make any sense to me. But it is a valid point that somebody brought up to me to try to get an answer on. And I think we'll get our answer on that. But I think it's safe to say that they'd have universal support for HDR10 and Dolby Vision. But very cool. And, a lot of gamers, we have Xbox, we all game all over. We game on PlayStation as well here. But, with Xbox, with the Dolby Atmos, with the Series X and even Xbox One X, and we've gotten to experience it. And I don't know about you guys. I think it's really good, especially if everything's certified Dolby Atmos. You can definitely hear it. I use it as my headset. I use the Dolby Atmos surrounds, and I'm a real big fan of there. I think they're very quality and very interested in this. I think it's something that they are going to definitely have. And like I said, if we get the TVs that are coming up, maybe will be 12-bit. Probably will. And, that's just a whole different, a range of colors and stuff like that. So if you can get that, and you have this, and you have the option, and it fits everything, and you can have Dolby Vision to make, your game look that much better, or have that much little crispness. That's great stuff. So very, very excited about that. And that was out of nowhere. We had so much news this week. When I heard that, I was like, wow. Because I've always been a big fan of Dolby.
I figured they got some type of relationship with Samsung that, they've always had a great working relationship with them that they couldn't exclude them. So I think you're definitely right on that. I almost pulled the trigger.
I can't see that because that like I can't see that, especially with the thing. I just think it'll be universal. So let's say, like I said, it has Dolby Vision, but it's going to have HDR10 support too. It'll just default to what your TV does, or if you want Dolby Vision, you'll have to, like everything else with Dolby, even like going back to when you had an amp and you got Dolby, you didn't get Dolby Digital. You had to wait until you had Dolby Digital with an optical cable. I'm sure you guys remember that. When it says it's the same type of thing. When you're in a gaming, it's going to come up in the corner, Dolby Vision. And it's very cool, though. And I'm happy about the partnership.
Okay, who else is really upset that the technology keeps increasing to the point where it's making us have to buy better TVs and more technology? Because I can't afford another television. My wife won't let me buy another television, and I'm gonna need one.
Heck, you can get a TCL. TCL does both Dolby Vision and HDR10.
Don't tell King about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but for entry level, it does the technology, and it looks pretty good for what you get for the price.
I've never been one of those snobs that always had to have the best of the best. I've always been kind of middle to upper, echelon when it comes to technology, just because of my budget. But I mean, if they're going to start releasing these features, that basically means I have to go out and spend another $2,000 on a television, and $2,000 for me means $1,000 for the Americans. So just take that into consideration.
Gotcha.
Anything that's $1,000 for you is $2,000 for me.
Yeah.
So
I was at Best Buy today and almost pulled the trigger on a Sony TV. It was a Sony H900X, and it's on sale right now. It's this year's model, and it's got Dolby Vision. It's their LED TV, and a lot of great features. It's supposed to be upgrading to 2.1, and I think 2 of the ports. Shout out to 108 Dragons in the chat somewhere helping me out making decisions. And Tim, I hit him up also because I'm just still kind of on the fence. I seen Cognito and King with their OLED TVs, and I'm like, what to do? Like for me, I am concerned about burning. Everyone says it shouldn't be a concern, but I'm really still trying to figure out what kind of TV to buy, and I'm anxious because the consoles are getting me excited, but at the same time, I'm just trying to fall back a little. But
I'll tell you, I have a TCL. It's no slouch. I have a 65-inch. I got it for like $700 on Black Friday a couple years ago, and it's when you watch some of the Dolby Vision content from Netflix, like Altered Carbon, it looks like the light, whatever, like if it's a light from a gun, like what do you call it, a laser crosshair, it looks like it's coming through the screen, like it's just so bright. So it's no slouch in that, and you can even see it on ratings.com. They compare it to the top of the line, and it's a little bit less good compared to those brands, but for the price you're saving like getting for half the price basically, and getting close to that quality.
Now, you only need a 2.1 if you're going to be playing in 120 hertz, or is it 2.0? Most people can still be playing in 4K 60, right? Or
yeah, I think 2.1 is required for 120 FPS.
For
do an
4K,
HDMI, yeah.
For 4K.
For 4K 120, you have to have 2.1. For 2.0, I believe it's 4K. No, it's 1440p 120. But then again, your TV has to support 120. A lot of TVs like C7, the OLEDs, the C9 supports 120, but like a C8, which is a great freaking TV, it only supports 60 because it does 4K. So a lot of times, if you're gonna, let's say if you buy a Series S and you want a 120 game, you have to have a 120 hertz television. You can have it. There are TVs that have 120 hertz. There are TVs that have 240 hertz with the, that would support it too. But it's the standard is only going to be 1440. Unless you have 2.1. There's very select TVs right now. It's a lot of money for 2.0 that carry 4K 120. But the one thing is I don't think that there's going to be many games that are doing full 4K 120, even on Series X. I would think that 4K 60 is, what 90%. You might get, like they say, like let's say Halo is 120 for the multiplayer. That's not going to be 4K, in my opinion. It might be, checkerboarding or something like that, but I don't think it's going to be the full K. So
who knows? Because Rainbow Six, they confirmed 4K 120 FPS. I don't know how they were doing that, but
I guess you're going to wait and see. But a lot of TVs don't carry 2.1. And as you know, Graphics Card talks about this it just keep going up and up. But it's going to be interesting with the 120. I don't think there's going to be a ton of 120 frames per second games, but there will be enough that when you do buy or purchase a TV, definitely know what you're buying and definitely find out what the specs are, especially the HDMI. It's definitely involved. And any of my friends, usually, I refer them to rtings.com. That'll give you a very good, oversight of your television and tell you what it can and can't do. But with these systems, there's going to definitely be a lot of stuff that we all have to consider. And if you're buying Megatron, what I would tell you is just wait until Black Friday or things. You can literally save $200 to $300 buying a TV now. You're gonna spend a little bit more, so I would just wait.
Yeah, I think I'll take your advice. That Sony TV though was enticing. The nits, I guess the peak brightness was kind of
right now. What TV is it?
It's the Sony 900, Sony H900X.
Okay,
or the other way around, a Sony X900H.
Oh,
One or
fine.
the other. And it's got really
definitely
good
check
reviews.
the lag too. Some of them have a lot of lag. Like some of the Sony ones I was looking at, they had like,
Yes.
it's still low, but it's like 30 milliseconds versus my TCL is like 14.
Yeah, see, that would bother me. That would bother me. Anything above, I think, 16 or 20, I think, would bother me. I don't know, man. It's just a lot of research, and you want to get the right thing. And I don't want to miss out on the deal either. And then, with two consoles I'm trying to pick up at the same time and multiple TVs. I mean, I'm not going to probably, after this purchase, unless something dies out, I'm not going to buy another television for another 3 or 4 years. Hopefully 4. Of course, the latter half, the better. That's where you make your, you get your money out of it. But I'm trying, learning. I'm going to wait a little bit, like you said, Black Friday, and or a little bit before that. Hopefully, those deals usually kick in, and find something. I got to find something. And I love OLED. The OLEDs you have, the performance, the black levels are beautiful. I'm nervous about the burn-in, even though it's not as common, but I don't know. I just don't want to have to worry about it, man. I'm more leaning towards the LED side of things, but we'll see. You never know.
Yeah.
And of course, Vizio, the new Vizio OLEDs, I'm hearing, have the highest peak brightness, period.
Let me tell you, those Vizio is no slouch either anymore.
No.
We've got one upstairs that we just put in our living room. A fantastic picture.
Yeah.
For a smaller set. And, most of the time, too, with lag, most TVs now have a game mode. And that cleans a lot of that up. Even my NU7100, my Samsung, which does fake 120. They call it manipulated backlight 120, but it's really a native 60 hertz panel. But the game mode on it pretty much wipes out any of the the processing that it does, and I was actually testing out my new wireless Saturn controller, so lag upon that, and I have no issues with that TV and any gaming.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I hear you.
All right.
I hear you on that. I hear
So,
you.
and I second Artings, by the way. Tim knows his stuff, man. That's a great site. That's what I use to calibrate my set with.
Yeah, guys, it's gonna be interesting going with next gen with Dolby Vision, and that Microsoft has partnered seemingly with Dolby with that, and how Sony's going with their own proprietary Tempest 3D audio, for example. So it's gonna see how both kind of play, and I like it when hearing that Xbox is making these deals with different companies, and it just shows that they're really invested in making the Series X and Series S the best that they can be with the best partners around. So I'm looking forward to see what the next tech how the next tech works out. But like with Graphic God, we're gonna pay an arm and a leg for new TVs. So I totally understand, Jay.
He's right, though.
I don't think, by the way, that there's going to be anything wrong with Tempest 3D. I mean, do you remember that Sony is an audio component manufacturer? And they know what they know how to work audio codecs. So I think the difference is that Microsoft really didn't have an internal ability to create a codec. So you go get Dolby, which, by the way, another shout out to Tim. Atmos is the real deal. I almost now completely game with a headset on, which I never did before, because Atmos is an incredible codec. I was blown away. But at the same time, when I play on PSVR, some of the 3D audio in there too is very impressive. So I wouldn't get too caught up in that. I think both of them are going to have pretty equalized when it comes to 3D sound. Where Microsoft is going to have the advantage is that they are going with an industry standard, and that is always a good thing.
Was there a little back and forth between Mark Cerny and the people that made Atmos with their 3D audio?
Yeah, there was a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But Microsoft's going with an industry standard, and you cannot, that's why it's easy for them to get that running.
Mm-hmm.
I've never tried their 3D audio of Sony. I'm curious about it.
Sony had said something, Cerny had said something, and Dolby came back and they said, this is what we do. I think he said something. They basically corrected him, and it wasn't a big thing, but
okay.
But I remember what you're talking about. That was when the deep dive when he did that video.
Mm-hmm. Well, either way, guys, it's just interesting seeing all this new technology pop up, and I can't wait to test it going forward eventually. I gotta get me a good new headset then with all this new audio stuff. It's really exciting. I'm gonna move on to our last topic, boys, of the evening, and Microsoft wasn't the only publisher to bring us some news this past week. Ubisoft had their recent Ubisoft Forward showcase, and they had a few games to show off, most notably a remake for the classic game Prince of Persia. Shock, I know you had an interest in this event. What did you think of the event overall? And I guess the remake, I know you had an eye on it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I didn't actually really watch the event. I just kind of saw it through Twitter and kind of saw the things that some of it had leaked. But so I was excited for some parts of it that I saw. That I never got the chance to play Scott Pilgrim, so I'll probably pick that one up before it got delisted back on the 360. But I was more excited for the Prince of Persia game. Played those through on the PS2. So those are really, I've recently been playing the original. So even though it's not comparing it to like the RE2 remake, in quality, it's still far and away better than the old PS2 game. So even if it looks like people saying 360 game, it still is better. I just went back and played it. It's going to look better than the original. So plus, I think a lot of the enemies are going to look a lot better if you go back and play the other ones. You know, every character was basically the same enemy for most of the game. So if they make at least some variety in there, and I'm gonna buy it on PC, so I'm sure the modding community is gonna, you know, touch up and make it look like, you know, a next gen game. So so I'll just buy it on PC, and I'm sure someone will do the work for them. So
confession, I missed all of the show, and I still haven't had a chance to watch it. I gotta go back. I heard a lot of
those are the only two
it.
highlight points people were even really talking about. Everybody else didn't really mention much else. So.
Well, that's the thing with Ubisoft. I find that they're a publisher that, I mean, they have some really nice select titles, but like they don't really push them or highlight them as they should. Again, everybody wants a new Splinter Cell, but they don't really do anything with that. Actually, they did show something Sam Fisher related, but
coming to Rainbow Six.
Yeah, coming to Rainbow Six, obviously. Shocked they had Scott Pilgrim. They also had a rebranding of that Gods and Monsters game to Immortals Phoenix Rising. It's like an open world, I want to say almost Breath of the Wild-esque game. Did anybody catch that?
I didn't see it, so I heard good things about it, but I just too busy with stuff. I'm sorry.
Is that
I caught the trailer? It looks interesting, but isn't it for Stadia? Because the Stadia logo's all over it.
Is it the Phoenix Rising Immortals or something?
That's correct, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think that's coming to all platforms, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
It looks neat. I don't know how much I can get into it, though. I mean, I played Breath of the Wild. It was a great game, but after maybe like a few hours of it, I was like, I'm kind of bored of this. So I don't know. I mean, it's got potential there. It just depends on, you know, if there's a lot to do or if it's just like an open, empty world like Recore.
Recore, yeah. Well, hey, I liked Recore. Don't you be dissing Recore now, clowns.
Well, if you want to play Prince of Persia on Steam, the whole series is like $1.99 for each. So
there was also
nice
it looked like they showed off a new IP. It's kind of like Steep in a lot of ways. It features like extreme sports, like biking, and you have this open world to go across. Riders Republic, I believe it's called. It actually looked kind of interesting the way that it was featured. I don't know, just like another extreme sports game, and like you got, I don't know, just all kinds of stuff going on, whether it be like, I think there was gliding, there was definitely biking, and it looked like you could just traverse a large world, and I looked at the map, and it looked like really, really large and varied. I thought it looked pretty cool. Chad, did you like anything from the Ubisoft Forward? Let's see if anybody says anything.
Did you see Beyond Good and Evil 2? Oh, yeah, neither did I.
Well,
what are you doing, Jay?
Well, that's another thing too, right? Like, how long?
That game's dead.
How long ago was that showcased before at E3? Like
2018, maybe 2017. It was one of those two.
Like, that was so long ago, and
it was 2017 because it was when the Switch just came out and people were talking about it being Switch exclusive. Yeah, 2017.
From the gameplay that I saw and how big it is, oh man, it is. I don't know if it'll be able to fit on there, to be honest with you, unless they do a Switch upgrade. But man, oh man.
Yeah, that looks like it needs SSD. Like a game like that. When they showed it off, I was like, this game isn't coming to these consoles. Like, this just isn't going to load that giant world that they were showing off. There's like no way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the thing. Beyond Good and Evil, I don't know if any of you guys on that panel played the original, but it was a pretty cool game back in the day.
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day. I don't think it aged well. I tried to play it recently, and I just couldn't get into it. I think it's just the time and what I'm used to nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was the same way. I mean, when it became free and I downloaded it, I thought, oh, everyone tells me this game is really great. I have to go and try it. I really couldn't get into it either.
Mm-hmm. I always liked. I thought the voice acting was all right. The soundtrack, granted, yeah, it has aged significantly in a lot of ways, but I don't know, I just enjoyed the story personally. I know I have friends of mine who were obsessed with it years ago. But yeah, it's another one of those titles that it's getting such a huge revamp. Like even okay, the sequel, I'm not even connecting it. I just think it's a new IP, to be honest with you, just because of how much time has gone by and what they're doing with it. Just seems like more of a new IP in a lot of ways. But yeah, it's kind of disappeared off the face of the earth, and I'm just wondering if they've even canceled it. Like Shock makes a good point. Is this something that's gonna reappear? It just seems like something that they've invested way too much money in to just cancel. But
I heard from somebody that it's still coming out. So I don't know how true that is, but somebody DM'd me and said, no, it's still coming out. Because I thought it was canceled or something as well.
Yeah, I hate that when you see a game, whether it be at E3. I think even like 2 years ago or a year and a half ago, Xbox showed a Mafia game, and I haven't heard anything since. Like, you see these cool games and then you never hear of them again, and some don't even come out.
Was that one the last night we never saw?
Last night, really? Oh yeah, 2018.
Oh, yeah, that was,
remember Agent by Rockstar?
oh yeah.
yeah. I hate when that happens, because those usually are the coolest looking games too. You're like, wow. But the last night, that was Tim Surratt.
Yeah.
He had problems, and then he said it was still on, and then he hasn't talked about it for over a year, so I don't know what the heck's going on there.
I was looking forward to that game. I was so excited because the art style just looks so good, and it just seemed like an interesting premise, and then all of a sudden it just disappeared. And then, yeah, the trouble, he was having issues with it. I'm not sure if it was publishing issues. I think a publisher dropped him, and then he was looking for another publisher, and yeah, it dropped off the face of the earth, unfortunately. That's something that I would love Microsoft to pick up, that game. That would be totally unique. But
yeah, it originally was a Microsoft PC console exclusive, and then he got dropped, and then I think he said it was going multi-plat, and then again he hasn't talked about anything about during the game. So I think the whole studio went down, or so. There was a bunch of stuff that he made some comments, and I don't know. He's not the most well-liked guy, and I would just remember that it reminded me of a game called Flashback. And
I love that. I love that game.
What a great game that is.
I thought it looked really cool. But yeah, there was also that Mafia game. And somebody told me that it's still a thing, but I don't remember. It was some Mafia game, Mafia Lord or something, and I love those type games. But yeah, that one, sometimes they just never make it, and it just shows you that not everything, always can be planned, or that's the industry for you.
mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. I saw what you did there.
I just put it down. I put it down on timeout for 300 seconds. You bastard.
Well, it gives them more time with Sea of Thieves. So enjoy it.
Oh, man. Jeremy. Oh, too funny. But, yeah, guys, just, again, the Ubisoft Forward event, just to kind of close it out, like, okay, Ubisoft for me doesn't really usually do it. They have a couple of games I like. I wish they would show Splinter Cell. I mean, they know everybody's been after that game for the longest time. I wish that's an IP that I wish Microsoft would actually spend money on, to be honest with you guys, and just acquire from them or just fund, because it would work so well for them in my opinion, and it would give gamers what they want. It's been too long. We need a stealth game.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's what the initiative is working. Not Splinter Cell, but maybe that's the type of game. I'm still thinking that the initiative is going to make a perfect dark game, and there you go. That would be right there. I mean,
Deus Ex ain't coming out anytime soon either. So
I wonder if some of Splinter Cell has to do with they probably can't get either the team together to do it, or maybe Michael Ironside's just not available anymore, and they know the last time they tried to make a Splinter Cell game without Michael Ironside voicing Sam, exactly, that whoever made that sound, that was it.
Oh,
I think he was the one that maybe someone leaked that like they were working on. I don't know if it was Michael Ironside or not, but because he was saying, "Oh yeah, they told me." I think it was maybe the Italian or somebody, Italian voice actor, one of them.
mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I do remember that. That was kind of recently too, from what I remember. Yeah, because I think now the studio that made Splinter Cell Blacklist, I believe, was Ubisoft Toronto. They've recently done Watch Dogs Legion. They're currently working on. So if that's the same studio that would be working on Splinter Cell, presumably, man, oh man, we got a long time to wait if that's the case. So, hey, if I wouldn't mind if the initiative were working on that one, to be honest with you, if they had just bought the IP. Now, wouldn't that be something, huh? Instead of buying a studio, they just full on buy an IP from one of these publishers and just give it to one of their internal studios. That would be very interesting. And then they reimagine that. It's me, anyways. But, okay, guys, on that point, we are going to cut the show to a close. And you know what, guys? I gotta say, this was a really fun show, just hanging out with the trio from the Gamers United Guild. And overall, it was just a great show overall, just to talk about the Series S and pricing on the consoles. I gotta give a huge shout-out to everyone that tuned in live. Very, very active chat tonight. Great to see you all. Again, if you enjoyed the show, then please leave a like, share this video out, and subscribe for more TXR content. Again, really good show tonight. Let's get to some of these outros. I'm going to start with our guests. Jay, the Graphic God. Buddy, thank you very much for coming on. It was a blast. Where can everybody find you at?
Oh, no, thank you for inviting me. This was a fun time. So if you want to find me on Twitter, I'm at graphic_god. And hit me up if you're looking for avatars or animations or gamer pics or overlays like what we've got here on TXR. And you can also find me on Tuesday nights. We host a little show called The Retro Renegades where we play old games, drink a lot of beer, swear, and just do a lot of craziness. And a lot of the people here, Mike's been on the show, Clowns has been on the show, Invader's been on the show. We'll have to get the rest of you guys on there once in a while. We just have a lot of fun. That's basically, there are no topics. You get on the show. There's live gameplay happening. It's usually games from the 80s and 90s. And we just shoot the shit, and you never know what's going to happen. Much like what you see here with Spicy Spice in the corner here. Dragon Spice.
Nice.
Dragon Spice.
Yeah.
That Flamish. What a character that guy is. Oh, man.
Yes. Anything can happen. Anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, guys. So if you need any kind of graphics, especially gamer pics, Jay's all about creating the gamer pics. Obviously, get into that. I might know a few people that want to hit you up. Actually, Jay, we should talk about that. Moving on here, Mike Mullis, Stinger from Next Level Gaming. Thank you very much for coming on, my friend. It's always great to have you on. And where can everybody find you at?
Oh, well, as always, thanks for having me on TXR. I love this show, and again, as in Clowns, Jay, and you, and I think that's it. That's been on NLG. We got to fix that. Get everybody else. But so you can find us at on YouTube. We're the original Next Level Gaming. You type in Next Level Gaming with the first thing that comes up. Our show is on every Thursday night at 9 p.m. So it's me and the guys just talking about whatever's going on. And usually now we're into doing some segments and things that instead of just talking about the news. Fastback, who's in the chat room tonight, he does a Game Pass segment talking about, good Game Pass games. We got Frankie who talks about, who tells you all the good indie stuff that's on sale. I've been working on a bunch of retro segments myself, and John does a lot of our VR and just all around if you need to know about a game. And of course, you got Peter who just plays everything, beats everything, and has an incredible split of knowledge. So that's that. You can catch me on Twitter and on Xbox at Stinger NLG, on PlayStation at the original NLG, and that's it. I'm glad to be here again.
Nice. Happy to have you, bro. It was great.
Definitely, of course, Mike. And moving down the list, we have our friend from Four Guys with Quarters, Italian Clowns. Clowns, buddy, again, thank you very much for coming on. Great insight tonight, as always. Where can everybody find you and your show?
Thanks, Invader. It was a pleasure being here. I love you guys at TXR. I love all of you guys. We moved the show, Four Guys with Quarters, to Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern. And Midway Monster and Viewpoint Gaming have joined the panel permanently. So they'll be on there. This week we have Xbot and Leo as a guest. I'm officially part of the Gaming Beyond the Box crew now and Fork Nation. And I also do primetime gaming with Mr. Boomstick and Friends on Monday nights. And you can find me at Italian Clowns and almost on all social media. Yeah, and that's it. And thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it. Oh, and let me give Flamish a shout out because he's doing 4GQ TV news with me, and Jay's really hooked us up with a lot of pretty cool stuff for that. But Flamish is a character you got to see when he delivers the news. He really delivers it in style. So I recommend that. And that'll be Wednesday through Friday. You'll get to see Flamish on the 4GQ TV channel. We've rebranded and we're expanding.
Okay.
Nice.
You also have to explain to people that Flemish, he's from Belgium. That's all you have to know.
Just like Jean-Claude Van Damme was. Oh. Mm-hmm. By the way, I got to give a quick shout out to my brother OEB Pete, because I also do the Amico All Access show, which actually I'm not on tonight because he just moved. He's the lead-in show for you guys now, so they moved to Sundays at 8. So as soon as I'm done there, I'll be jumping in this chat. So, but that's a great panel. We're not running out of things to talk about with the Intellivision Amico, and just always a great time there. So OEB Pete.
Oh, absolutely.
Nice.
Check that out. Petey does some good stuff. He always has Tommy on, which is awesome. Tommy Tellerico.
And can anyone argue with me? He's got the biggest smile on the planet.
Dude, he is Mr. Happiness.
Yeah.
I don't know. Flamish has got a pretty big smile.
Yeah.
Well, that's only when you have Spice Girls playing.
There you go. And he's also a Gamers United Guild member as well.
Indeed.
Exactly.
Indeed.
And got to shout that out to Invader. Gamers United Guild is really awesome. Bunch of all cool people in there. BG4G as well is in there with us. So huge shout out to everybody. Indie Gamer. It's a really cool, supportive crew, and I'm glad that you guys are in it too, Invader. So check out all the GUG brothers, including Retro Renegades. You may have noticed that sign at Jay's place before an alien takes them away.
There it is, up there.
Retro Renegades. Oh yeah. No, that's such a cool setup, Jay. Like I'm in love with it, to be honest.
Something happened to your arm when you reached up there a little bit.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. This is my office.
Nice.
The truth is out there, fellas. But all right, awesome stuff.
Ate his arm.
And we will move on to the TXR crew now, and I'll start off with Centurion, buddy. Hey, hell of a show. Great presence tonight. Where can everybody follow you at, bud?
Oh, man. I didn't have as great a presence as everybody else here, man. I had to be a little quiet tonight. My allergies are totally destroying me with all these forest fires going on in California.
Oof.
Oh, man. It's like during the day, our sun actually at certain times is red just from the smog in the air.
Oof.
Oh, my gosh.
Stay safe.
Be safe, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How is
Fun
it
times.
2049?
Huh? What did he say?
I said, how is it in 2049?
What do you mean 2049?
Because everybody was comparing it to Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, yeah. I totally did not catch that one. That's funny. But anyways, I cannot be found as many places as some of the great gentlemen here on the show, but you can find me on my channel and Twitter and Xbox Live at Centurion1307. You can also find me on the Shop Podcast with PTK Blam every Saturday night. And you can also find me right here every Sunday night on TXR.
All right, great stuff. Tim Dog, one hell of a show tonight, buddy. Always great to have you on. Now, where can everybody follow you at?
You follow me on xCloud Tim Dog on Twitter. Great show, great panel at LG. Definitely hit up the show. I haven't made it, but I'll definitely will be there. Just hit me up in DMs. We'll figure that out.
Very much will. That'll break the internet.
But great show. Really, very smart people, and just a great thing that you guys have going on, and the collaboration that TXR and Jay and everyone's doing is really cool. I remember when Invader came to us, and I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. But it's just good to see that people in the community helping each other out. And we're probably gonna have another nice week of news, and we're getting closer and closer. So definitely tune in to all of our shows. NLG and Clowns show, and and our show as well. It's going to be a pretty crazy week, but really great job by everyone, and thanks for everyone coming on the show.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of PlayStation news to cover next week because, again, they have an announcement on Wednesday. So keep your eyes peeled for the pricing there, fellas. All right. Shock Buddy, good show tonight as always. Where can everybody follow you and, possibly buy a few physical games off of you?
Yeah, you can find me at Shock Nero on Twitter, Easy Shock on Xbox Live. And speaking of that, all the Splinter Cell series is on sale right now on Xbox for, I think, $5 each. So definitely grab those. But yeah, and I figured it out. I can buy games. I just can't buy ones that give me the Game Pass discount. So Ninja Gaiden 2 and Dragon Orta that are in Game Pass right now, I can't buy them. I can buy anything else. Go figure.
Oh.
But if that helps if anybody else gets that error. So who knows?
That's kind of funny. Wow. All right, and moving down the list, Megatron, last but not least. Where can everybody follow you at, my friend?
Hey, it's Clowns, Jay, Mike. It was awesome to have you guys on the show, man. It was real fun to finally be on the panel with you guys. You guys are full of knowledge and fun, and we play games, man. And as always, you can hit me up on Twitter, Megatron _1975, and hit me up on also my gamer tag Megatron1. Play some games and talk about life, man. Anything and everything. And that's it. Great show.
Yeah, guys, you got that right. And of course, you guys, you can follow my content on YouTube over at Invader Gaming. As well, you can find me on Twitter at Invader_1986. I'm pretty active on there. I gotta say, great show tonight. I love the full panel, and we cannot wait to see you here next week, next Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific time, where we're definitely gonna have a lot more to talk about, whether it be PlayStation, more Xbox news, and so much more. Again, fellas, it was great. Have a good one.